So far, Countryfile, it's massive. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. To be honest, when I set out from London, I thought I was coming to a field with a couple of marquees, and I realized how big it was when I was walking through the car park. It took me nearly 10 minutes to get to the gate from the car park. It's huge. So scouting is probably one of the most important things, in my opinion, that a young child can do. It teaches you leadership skills, teamwork skills. It teaches you to use your hands. It teaches you to make the best of whatever situation you're in. It teaches you to set goals and then go out and try and achieve those goals. And I think that for me is the main reason why I decided to become an ambassador, because it meant I could be part of that journey for a young person. It meant that I could use any influence that I had to get more young people involved. It meant that I could also try and encourage other adults to go on and become scout leaders as well. So for me, massively important. I think getting them to start involving themselves in things like scouting when they're young is really important for them as adults. So I'm from London. I now live in Woodford, which is pretty close as close to woodlands as you can get while still living within a city to a degree. It's massively important again for me to get as many young people out into the woodlands and enjoying the countryside as possible, because once you get them out there and they see the value of it and the benefits of it, they'll work to conserve it and look after it for future generations. So far I've had really good success. I've got a load of young people signing up and getting on board and saying that I'm doing this because Dwayne, I heard Dwayne speak, or I've seen Dwayne do something, or I've seen Dwayne out in the wild. And it's massively it's doing really well, and I think it can always do better. There's always room for improvement. I think the more I can do, and the bigger the platform I get, the more I can do. So for me, it's doing all right. I want to do more. So I was born in a very rural part of Jamaica, and my very first memory of the outdoors was literally outside my house was fields and forests and woodlands. So I lived in a very small community. It was probably about 7 or 8 other houses, and beyond that it was about a half a mile to the next set of houses. So it was loads of woodlands, loads of free space to run around. And for me, I remember the outdoors more than I remember being inside. I was never inside the house. I think it's a Jamaican thing where as soon as you're a kid and able, the parents want you out the house. They don't want you inside. You look messy, you make a mess. Get out, get active, tire yourself out, and then come home when you're finished. My biggest hurdle in life so far, in all honesty, has to be my own self-confidence. When I first came to the UK, I was really conscious of everything about myself. I was conscious because I was one of the few black kids in the school. I was conscious because my accent was different. I was conscious because even at lunchtime, I didn't know what the right foods to eat were. It was all stressful. It made me really anxious. So I became really reclusive. I became quiet and withdrawn, and I didn't have many friends. So for me, finding my voice or finding myself was a massive hurdle. And when I did it, it was like a massive, huge sigh of relief. It's like, I now know who I am. I now know what my passions are. I now know what I want to achieve in life. I think when you're going anywhere, I think a Swiss Army knife is probably the best thing you can have. You never know when you're going to need to cut, whether it's a piece of wood, cut some kindling. You just, I think, pack a knife. Beyond that, pack willing spirit. I think be daring, be brave, and just be smart about what you do. If you're going to go out into the wilderness, outdoors, tell somebody, let them know when you're due back, let them know where you're expected to be, pack a knife and go and enjoy it, go and have some fun, go and explore. I think I want people to take away the fact that actually there are huge amounts of resources available to you when you decide you want to go on a hike, whether you want to go and climb a mountain, whether you want some good equipment to go camping. There's a huge amount of resources available, and this hopefully will showcase that to the rest of, to a wider community, and they will go away thinking actually the outdoors is accessible, it is for everyone, and it's not a big scary place.